This is our second community congregational meeting, and the purpose of today is really to update you on where we've been and where we're going. Not in conjunction with Pastor Louise, I want to start off by saying we are a blessed church community. Having lived through a worldwide pandemic, 14 months of virtual church services, searching and finding an interim pastor, searching nationally and finding a called pastor, and now together in person. We are a blessed church community. Next Sunday, we will celebrate our final service together with Pastor Louise. I, for one, cannot understate all that Pastor Louise has contributed and done to guide this congregation through the past 14 months. We are a very blessed community. I would also like now to acknowledge the leadership of our past moderator, Tom Olson, who through the maze of challenges we traveled together these past 3 years. He and his wife, Kathy, will be missed, for they are moving. But we are a blessed community. At this time, I want to again introduce your governing board, the chairs and co-chairs of your ministry teams, that these are the folks that have kept us on course. And I'm going to ask them to stand. Vice Moderator Charlotte Davis, Secretary Joe Pasilico, Diaconate co-chairs Alex Marino and Joanne Lefebvre, Finance and Stewardship, Jack Chandler and Vice Chair Donna Herbert. Missions, Sandy Lynch, she's on a vacation this weekend. And Administration, Sherry Harold and Vice Chair Chris Janis. These are the folks who have kept us together, making difficult decisions in conjunction with Pastor Louise. Now, Denny, if I can have the next slide. To keep this meeting brief, I wanted to just share what the administration ministry team has been doing and what they have planned. As you saw in the earlier announcements, they have a garden day next Saturday. We do need volunteers. They had a work day a month ago, and an all-women's team did a remarkable job of laying out some mulch, but we need more mulch. And if you're so inclined and want to make a donation, we need some dark brown mulch in bags that you can bring to the church and deliver prior to Saturday. If that's not true, Sherry, please. We also need those little donuts. I was excited when she told me this. I thought, oh, that sounds good. I'll be here to work. But these are for the sprinkler heads. And if you have any extra ones laying around at house, again, please drop them off. You can just leave them out front. We'd appreciate those. We also have the possibility of the need for extended office angels during the end of May. And if you are so inclined and would like to be able to just answer the phone, and I know we all do that, and willing to give an hour or two to the church in service, please see Chris Janis or Sherry, and she will direct you to set you up on the list. We appreciate that. The diaconate team wants you to know that membership has been cleared with the stewardship, or with the shepherds, and with Pastor Louise having done a phenomenal job of contacting everyone on our membership list. And we're clear now that our membership is 185 members. So we're excited. That was a monumental task that got accomplished. There's also a subcommittee through Diaconate that is working on the definition of members, and that will be presented at our September congregational meeting for you all to vote on. It will be out during the summer once we get it tweaked enough that we feel we're ready to look at, because maybe many of you didn't know, there were 7 different definitions of being a member of this church. And it was driving the recorder and everyone else absolutely crazy. Some of you were in 2 or 3 different groups, and therefore it was multiple counting. And membership numbers are important, for we pay a head tax on the number of members to UCC, to the Florida Conference, or to the National. And it also determines a lot of other financial decisions. So it was critical that we get that defined, and they're continuing to work on that. The next slide, Denny. Under missions, please know that they're continuing to work on redefining what our ministries under missions are going to be, including some of the fundraisers and some of the other activities. But until we get through this last surge of COVID, they want to postpone those activities until the fall. So stay tuned over the summer. There'll be more things coming. And I know they're working in the direction of wanting to do a number of collaborative mission activities with other congregations in the community. So that will be coming out as soon as they get that well-defined, and with the help of Pastor Joe once he gets here. The Pastoral Relations Committee is, as you know, on May 2nd, there will be a meet and greet with Pastor Joe and his family, or at least some of the family members that will be here. Please plan on attending. Again, you will have to register to be here, but I think it'll be a wonderful day to get to know our new called pastor. Now, a number of you have asked me about installation of Pastor Joe, and I was not aware, but I've been in continual conversations with the Florida Conference, and within the Florida Conference, they require approximately a year for the process of call, and actually, let me make sure I'm getting this, the privilege of call, excuse me. The privilege of call process in the Florida Conference requires several meetings of that pastor with the Florida Conference representative as well as the regional representative. So the installation of Pastor Joe will probably not take place until the spring of 2022, as I have been informed, because of they only meet periodically, and he and I will be meeting together with the Florida Conference to work, get that all completed. So installations will not happen this year. It will be, unless something miraculous happens, and because we are a blessed community, that could be. Lastly, Jack, if you'll share with us our financial situation.
Well, as in most cases when I talk to you, I have good news and bad news. The good news is our pledges we're about 30% through the year. So let's establish that benchmark. We're 43% against our pledges. And that's because a lot of you have either donated your entire year already, or you've made a substantial down payment on the year. Don't get too giddy just yet. Regular giving, which is members or non-members that do not pledge, but regularly give to the church, we're at 23% of our budget. So we're a little below where we ought to be. New giving, and we, as you well know, have not had a lot of new members just because we haven't been able to meet. So people that wanted to come find out who we were and what we were haven't had that opportunity. And then plate cash is another thing we track. Well, we haven't been here. So plate cash is minimal, $95 if you want the actual number. All that being said, Sherry and her team have done a phenomenal job keeping expenses under control. And our expenses are only at 19% for the year. So that's great if we can stay there. We think we've got an air conditioner problem that we are going to have to take care of, and those are not cheap problems. Air conditioner in Florida is about 7 years, and then it dies. So that's a concern. So we had forecast a shortfall of $47,000 in change, and in reality today, we have a surplus of $49,000 and change. However, we have some moving expenses coming up with Pastor Joe. We have some other one-time expenses that we're going to look at. So we need the pledges to come in. If you can increase what you give us, we love you. We love you anyhow, but we really do need the revenue this year. It's going to be a very tight year. So that's where we're headed.
Thank you, Jack. Are there any major questions or concerns that anyone wishes to bring up at this time? You all have my phone number. By the way, I guess I didn't introduce myself. I'm Billy Navajoski, your moderator. And 24/7, I am available to you. Some of you have taken advantage of that. But if there are no other questions or concerns, can I have a motion to call this meeting? Marlo?
I have one concern, Billy.
Sure.
You did not mention yourself when you thanked all the people for holding us together. Alongside Tom Olson, Billy has been there constantly, giving us her support and her wisdom, and I'd like to say thank you.
Thank you. You know, I want to keep it really positive, the amount of time the moderator has to share, because Charlotte's still here, and being the vice moderator, she may be worried about next year. I have agreed to serve out this term, which will be my 4th year, and but thank you, I appreciate that. No other comments or concerns, then call for a motion to adjourn. Joanne, and second, Jack. Go in peace to be a witness. Amen. And the ushers will dismiss everyone as we're continuing our practice.